What if everything you've built disappeared overnight? No money, no connections, no safety net, just you and your mind. Most people would panic. Most people would quit before they even begin again. But here's the truth that almost no one talks about. Starting from nothing is not the end. It's the purest beginning, because when everything is stripped away, what's left is the only thing that ever truly mattered: your ability to think, decide, and act. In this video, you're going to discover exactly how real wealth is built from the ground up. Not through luck, not through shortcuts, but through a set of powerful principles that anyone can apply anywhere at any time. These are the same mental shifts and actions that turn struggle into strength, ideas into income, and ordinary people into unstoppable forces. This is not just motivation. This is a blueprint. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever wondered how people rise from nothing and build everything, if you're ready to take control of your life instead of waiting for change, then stay with me, because what you're about to hear could change the way you see money, success, and your own potential forever. Definiteness of purpose is the foundation upon which all wealth is built, because without a clear and specific aim, effort becomes scattered and ineffective. When a person does not know exactly what they want financially, their actions lack direction, their decisions become uncertain, and opportunities pass by unnoticed. A definite purpose, on the other hand, acts like a compass, guiding every thought, decision, and action toward a single meaningful goal. It is not enough to simply say, "I want to be rich" or "I want success," because such vague desires produce vague results. A person must define the exact amount of wealth they seek, the timeline in which they intend to achieve it, and the reason behind it, because a strong emotional reason fuels persistence when challenges arise. When the mind is fixed on a clear objective, it begins to organize ideas, attract opportunities, and align behavior in ways that support that goal, often without conscious effort. This clarity also strengthens confidence, because uncertainty is replaced with purpose and hesitation is replaced with intention. A definite purpose transforms ordinary effort into focused power, allowing even small actions to accumulate into significant progress over time. It influences how a person spends their time, the skills they choose to develop, and the people they associate with, ensuring that everything in their environment supports their desired outcome. Without it, distractions take control, and energy is wasted on activities that do not contribute to long-term success. With it, discipline becomes easier, because every action is measured against a clear objective, making it simpler to say no to anything that does not align. This level of clarity also sharpens decision-making, reducing confusion and increasing the speed at which opportunities are recognized and acted upon. A person with a definite purpose does not drift through life reacting to circumstances, but instead moves with intention, shaping their circumstances through deliberate thought and action. Over time, this focused approach builds momentum, and what once seemed difficult begins to feel natural, as the mind and actions work together in harmony toward a clearly defined financial outcome. Mastering your mindset is the invisible force that determines whether wealth is created or constantly out of reach, because every external result is first shaped by internal thought patterns. The mind acts as a filter through which all experiences are interpreted, and if that filter is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, it distorts reality and weakens action. A person who believes opportunities are scarce will hesitate, overthink, and often miss chances that require confidence and speed, while someone who believes opportunities are abundant will act decisively and remain open to possibilities even in uncertain conditions. Thoughts are not passive, they influence emotions, and emotions drive behavior, creating a cycle that either supports growth or reinforces stagnation. When negative beliefs such as "I am not capable," "success is for others," or "failure is permanent" take hold, they quietly dictate choices, causing a person to avoid risks, settle for less, and give up too soon. Mastering the mindset means becoming aware of these patterns and deliberately replacing them with empowering beliefs that encourage action, resilience, and confidence. It requires mental discipline to reject thoughts that weaken resolve and to consistently focus on thoughts that strengthen determination. This does not mean ignoring reality, but rather choosing a perspective that allows progress despite challenges. Fear, for example, is natural, but when it dominates the mind, it paralyzes action. When it is controlled, it becomes a signal to prepare and move forward with awareness. The ability to maintain a strong mindset during setbacks is what separates those who eventually succeed from those who stop trying, because failure is often a temporary condition that tests belief more than ability. A disciplined mind learns to interpret failure as feedback, using it to adjust strategy rather than abandon the goal. Over time, repeated control over thoughts builds confidence, and confidence increases the willingness to take calculated risks, which are necessary for growth and wealth creation. The environment a person chooses also plays a critical role, as constant exposure to negativity can reinforce limiting beliefs, while surrounding oneself with positive influences strengthens constructive thinking. By consistently training the mind to focus on possibility, growth, and solutions, a person creates an internal state that naturally supports productive action, making success not an accident, but a predictable result of controlled and directed thinking. Relentless self-discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, because no matter how clear the goal or how strong the mindset, without consistent control over daily actions, progress remains inconsistent and unreliable. It is the ability to do what must be done, even when motivation fades, emotions fluctuate, or distractions appear more appealing. Most people rely on bursts of inspiration to take action, but inspiration is temporary and unpredictable, while discipline creates a steady rhythm of effort that continues regardless of mood. This means waking up and working toward your goals even when you feel tired, making difficult decisions when easier options are available, and staying committed to long-term rewards instead of giving in to short-term comfort. Self-discipline also involves mastering impulses, because many of the habits that prevent wealth, such as procrastination, overspending, or lack of focus, are driven by the desire for immediate gratification. When a person learns to delay that gratification, they gain control over their behavior, and that control compounds into powerful results over time. It requires setting clear standards for how time is used, how money is managed, and how energy is directed, ensuring that every action aligns with a larger purpose. Consistency becomes the defining factor, because small, repeated efforts performed daily have a far greater impact than occasional intense bursts of activity. Through discipline, habits are formed, and once those habits become automatic, they reduce the need for constant decision-making, making productivity more natural and less dependent on willpower. Challenges and setbacks test this discipline, as it is easy to remain committed when progress is visible, but far more difficult when results are delayed or obstacles arise. In those moments, discipline is what keeps a person moving forward, maintaining focus on the goal rather than the temporary discomfort. It also strengthens character, building resilience and confidence, as each act of discipline reinforces the belief that one can control their actions and shape their outcomes. Over time, this repeated control transforms behavior, creating a lifestyle where productive actions are the norm rather than the exception, allowing progress to continue steadily even in the absence of motivation or external pressure. Value creation is the central principle behind all lasting wealth, because money is not earned by desire alone, but by the ability to provide something useful that improves the lives of others. When the focus is placed directly on making money, decisions often become short-term, transactional, and limited in impact. But when the focus shifts to creating genuine value, opportunities expand and income becomes a natural byproduct. Value can take many forms, such as solving a problem, saving time, increasing efficiency, offering convenience, or delivering knowledge and skill that others need. The greater and more meaningful the value provided, the greater the potential reward, because people willingly exchange money for solutions that make their lives better or easier. This requires a deep understanding of needs, both spoken and unspoken, and the ability to think beyond personal gain to consider how one's efforts can serve a larger purpose. It also demands continuous improvement, because as markets evolve and expectations rise, the level of value required to stand out increases. A person committed to value creation does not remain static, but constantly refines their skills, expands their knowledge, and adapts their approach to stay relevant and effective. This mindset shifts attention away from competition and toward contribution, encouraging innovation rather than imitation. Instead of asking how to get ahead of others, the focus becomes how to deliver something unique or better, which naturally differentiates one's work and attracts attention. Trust is built through consistent value, and trust leads to loyalty, repeat opportunities, and long-term relationships that are far more sustainable than one-time gains. It also encourages patience, because meaningful value often takes time to develop and may not produce immediate financial returns, yet over time it creates a strong foundation that supports steady growth. By concentrating on usefulness and impact, a person aligns their efforts with real demand, making their work indispensable rather than optional. This approach reduces dependency on luck or external conditions, as the ability to create value can be applied in any environment, turning challenges into opportunities by identifying what people need most in that moment and delivering it effectively. Persistent action is the force that turns intention into tangible results, because even the strongest goals and the best plans have no value without continuous effort applied over time. Many people begin with enthusiasm, taking the first few steps with energy and optimism, but when obstacles appear or progress slows, that initial drive fades and they stop before results have a chance to develop. Persistence is what separates temporary effort from lasting achievement, as it requires a person to keep moving forward despite difficulties, delays, and repeated setbacks. It is not about reckless repetition, but about maintaining consistent action while learning, adjusting, and improving with each attempt. Every challenge carries information, and those who persist use that information to refine their approach rather than abandon their goal. Failure in this context is not a final outcome, but a temporary condition that reveals what does not work, guiding the next step with greater clarity. This process builds resilience, because each time a person continues despite discomfort or disappointment, they strengthen their ability to endure future challenges with greater confidence. Persistence also compounds effort, as small actions repeated consistently over time create momentum that eventually produces visible results, even if progress seems slow at the beginning. It requires patience, because meaningful success rarely appears instantly, and the willingness to continue without immediate reward is what allows long-term gains to materialize. Doubt and external criticism often test persistence, as others may question the path or the timing, but a persistent individual remains focused on their objective, trusting the process they are committed to. This does not mean ignoring feedback, but rather filtering it carefully and staying aligned with the larger vision. Over time, persistent action transforms obstacles into stepping stones, as each difficulty overcome adds experience and strength that make future challenges easier to handle. It also builds credibility, both internally and externally, as consistent effort demonstrates reliability and commitment. By refusing to stop, even when progress is not immediately visible, a person creates the conditions necessary for success to emerge, proving that achievement is less about initial talent or luck, and more about the willingness to continue moving forward until the desired result is reached. Strategic thinking and continuous learning form the intellectual engine behind wealth creation, because success is not only about working hard, but about making the right decisions consistently over time. Without strategy, effort can be wasted on actions that produce little or no meaningful progress, while a thoughtful approach ensures that each step contributes toward a larger objective. Strategic thinking requires the ability to analyze situations, anticipate outcomes, and choose actions that maximize results while minimizing unnecessary risk. It involves seeing beyond the present moment and understanding how current decisions will influence future opportunities, allowing a person to act with foresight rather than reacting impulsively. This way of thinking also demands flexibility, as conditions change and new information becomes available, making it essential to adjust plans without losing sight of the overall goal. Continuous learning supports this process by expanding knowledge, sharpening skills, and improving judgment, enabling better decisions as circumstances evolve. A person who commits to learning remains open to new ideas, studies patterns of success and failure, and applies those insights to refine their approach. This includes learning from personal experiences as well as observing others, recognizing what works, what does not, and why. Over time, this accumulation of knowledge creates a competitive advantage as decisions become more informed and actions more precise. It also reduces the likelihood of repeated mistakes, because each lesson learned becomes a tool for future improvement. Strategic thinkers do not rely solely on effort. They focus on leverage, identifying opportunities where a single well-placed action can produce multiplied results. They prioritize tasks based on impact rather than urgency, ensuring that their energy is directed toward activities that generate the greatest return. This approach also encourages patience and timing, understanding that not every opportunity should be pursued immediately, and that waiting for the right moment can significantly increase the chances of success. By combining thoughtful planning with an ongoing commitment to growth, a person creates a system of decision-making that evolves with experience, allowing them to navigate complexity with greater confidence and precision. while steadily moving closer to their financial objectives. In the end, building wealth from nothing is not a matter of luck, background, or circumstance, but a deliberate process guided by clarity of purpose, control over the mind, disciplined action, meaningful value creation, unwavering persistence, and intelligent decision-making. Each principle strengthens the other, forming a complete system where thoughts shape actions. Actions create results, and results reinforce belief. When these elements are applied consistently, even the most modest beginnings can transform into significant achievements, proving that true wealth is first developed internally before it appears externally. The journey may demand patience, effort, and resilience, but those who commit to these principles position themselves to rise above limitations and create opportunities where none seem to exist. Good luck on your journey toward building the life and wealth you desire. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward with belief in your vision. Thank you for your time and attention.